Hi, I'm Apphia, and I'm at Grandmaster Hans and Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in Conway. And I'm here to talk to you about how to talk to your teen about sexual assault and important parts of a healthy relationship. And as teens, we're heading off to high school, and the later teens like me who are 17, 18, are heading off to college, which is filled with new experiences, challenging decisions that we may not be entirely prepared for. But when people envision talking about sexual assault and sex in general, most people think it's awkward and almost taboo, but it doesn't have to be that way. We can just talk about it in a factual, informed, and normal way. We don't always have to think of it as gross and something that we have to hide away from. The first main point of really how to have a healthy relationship and even how to talk about sexual assault is communication. So healthy communication is very important, obviously, in a relationship, but for teens and everyone, that means having a partner that respects you and doesn't force you to do things against what you want to do. And honest relationships are based on mutual respect and trust. And when things get unhealthy is when one partner tries to exert control over the other. For instance, when one partner tries to get the other one to send them inappropriate videos or photos without the other partner's consent or what they want to do. And that is an example of sexual abuse. More examples that happen frequently in teen relationships are making fun of their partner because they don't want to have sex or they don't want to do things that they've done in past relationships. Like if a teen had sex with a partner in a past relationship but doesn't want to have it with the partner that they're in a relationship with now, that's their choice. It's not for their partner to decide. These are just signs that their partner doesn't respect them and doesn't really want to have a healthy relationship. Boundaries are very important in teen or really any relationship, both emotionally and physically, because both of those can be manipulated and abused to serve someone's interest that's not yours and that isn't based on mutual trust and respect or a healthy relationship. Boundaries are important because they let you establish what's physically and emotionally acceptable in a relationship. In Women's Empowered, we teach a very specific boundary setting technique called a 3-part statement, which you guys can easily teach at home. It's simply, first you state the behavior, you state how the behavior makes you feel, and you state the desired outcome. For example, I don't like you talking about my sexual history. It makes me feel uncomfortable and awkward. Can you please not talk about my sexual history? If a person ignores your boundaries, it's then clear to you that they have no respect for your emotions, your wishes, and eventually your well-being, because they're willing to manipulate your boundaries to do what they want. Consent in a relationship is probably one of the most important things I can think of. It's probably the most critical part of a relationship because first off, you have to consent to be in that relationship. And while peer pressure may not seem to be that big of a deal or that big of a problem, it does happen. And it happens in relationships when your peers or even your partner pressure you to do something that you may not want to really do. And oftentimes it's just easy to go along with what your partner wants, but that's not necessarily what you should do. What you should do is what you feel like you should do. And if you don't physically and mentally affirm yes to having sex or any other intimate thing with your partner in that relationship, then you haven't given consent, and that's an abuse of your partner's power in the relationship. And probably one of the most important things that I could think of is that no matter how many times you say yes to a partner, you can always say no. You can always say no. Support from parents and peers and just the people around you is also another really important factor in teen life and relationships. Like, parents, talking to you here, this is something you guys can learn and even memorize, is that as teens, like, we know you're not going to always approve of our relationship choices and our decisions, but maybe instead of judging, you could just focus on supporting us. Like, we know that we're not always going to make the smartest decisions, but that doesn't mean that we want to hear "I told you so" every time we make a mistake that you saw coming. It just means that we had to learn for ourselves. Like, some things you can't really teach. Some things you have to learn for yourself. And having the support of your parent as a teen, myself, that's one of the most important things around you that keeps you from doing things against your will and from doing things you don't want to do. And having the support of your parents often means that you can go to your parents with things that go wrong. For instance, if your relationship partner does something that makes you uncomfortable or feel scared or abused, then that's something you can go to your parents with if you have their support. And if your teen feels safe coming to you, then you know that you're giving them a proper amount of support. As teens, we're in a fun, exciting part of our lives that changes rapidly and is filled with busy schedules and new things to do. But being a teen is also filled with hard choices and decisions that can heavily impact your future, like where you go to college and what you are going to do with your life. And it's important during this time for parents to support their kids and provide information about things like sexual assault, and just having non-judgmental conversations are key to helping teens address their issues and get through life successfully.